We're here in Charlotte, North Carolina for Canada's pre-World Cup camp, and we've got a lot of news to share with you, so let's get right into it. Let's start at the back. A real point of emphasis for Jesse Marsch in his training today. They did a lot of 11v11 sessions behind me, and let's start with Moise Bombito, arguably Canada's most talented centre-back. Broke his leg in October, of course, of last year in Ligue 1, and I asked him what was his level of confidence ahead of starting for the World Cup on June 12th.
Rate my chances, 100%. Yeah.
You're expecting to start on June 12th.
I mean, that's all to Jesse, really, but I'm just going to make sure that I give him the right ideas to go and make his final roster. Final 11.
And if you're going to start June 12th, in your ideal mind, how many minutes do you need to play in the two warm-up games to be ready?
That's a good question. I feel like if I can get as many as I can, and it's realistic into how many minutes a center back should have, then we'll know that I'm good to go.
So that's the main headline here in Charlotte today, Wednesday, May 27th. Moise Bombito, 100% certain he will be ready to start that opening game of the World Cup and get minutes in Edmonton at home next week against Ireland for him in Montreal. An area of emphasis has been really ramped up here behind me in training today. A lot of 11v11, and a lot of it was focused on the centre-backs. Moise Bombito, as I said, hasn't played since October. Derek Cornelius, his last start, November the 18th. Alfie Jones last played on Boxing Day. Joel Waterman, just 6 starts of the last 15 for Chicago. Ralph Prizo's back. Jamie Knight-Labelle has played a lot for Swindon recently. And Luc de Fougerolles now out of concussion protocol. But when you're a centre-back, what is it about training that you need to do to replicate that, to try and get up towards match fitness? Here's Joel Waterman.
Yeah, I think the contact, the pace, that's why we're playing so many 11v11 games. We want to make sure that we have the most game fitness as possible, and especially for those guys coming back. But yeah, it's different spaces on the field, different details that you're trying to iron out, and it's just important to play. It's important to play and just to get as fit as possible. But I would say the contact and the physicality, especially the way we play, it might take them a little bit longer to get back, but they looked really, really good. Same with Alfie yesterday; he looked great. So I think it's honestly, I think diving full 100% into just doing it and getting over that mental hump.
And that centre-back group, when people ask you about it, how would you describe yourselves if you're all fit? Like, what is the characteristics that make you guys work?
That's a good question too. Physical, good on the ball, aggressive, fit, but also like savvy. I think Jesse's taught us a lot about savviness in terms of body contact, heading, different details like that people don't really talk about and don't really see during the game. But how to manage a line, all those different things come together, and I think that's what kind of shapes our backline and who we are.
That's the defenders taken care of for the news. More news today about injuries, and we spoke to Ali Ahmed of Norwich City, who confirmed that his injury was indeed the hamstring that we previously thought. And Ali Ahmed spoke to us afterwards about the recovery process since injuring it in the final day of the championship season away at Hull City. Ali, is it too soon to know whether you're going to play any of these World Cup warm-up games?
I think first game for the first friendly, I'm not sure. I don't think I'll be ready to play that, but I think the hope is to be in the second friendly, just get some minutes. Hopefully, if things continue the way they are continuing, I think second friendly is the aim right now.
You mentioned it happened whole last game of the championship season. Is it something new for you? Have you ever had anything there before?
No, never. Really. First time ever having anything in my hamstring, so it was something new. I don't think it should. I don't think it should be a problem going forward. And obviously, this is where being more lean maybe comes into, benefits me a little bit more. So I think no problems there, no long problems there.
I also got a chance to sit down with the head coach, Jesse Marsch, this morning. We talked about a lot of different topics. That full interview now available on One Soccer's YouTube channel. We talked about his new contract, why he signed it now, the selections for the World Cup ahead of obviously the big announcement on Friday night, what he needs to do and what they're looking at around Alphonso Davies' injury, and of course the goalkeeper topic. He told me he's still not quite sure who the number one is. As of today, do you know, I know you're not going to tell me, do you know who your number one is now?
No.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to use the last week here of information to make the decision. And it's really close, as it has been the whole time. And a lot of it for me has to do with even the stability of the overall team and what that looks like and what I think our needs are as a team. So it's easy for everybody on the outside to go, oh, I like Dane, I like Max, whatever, But in the end, it's about, the form that they're in, the mental state of each person, and then also how it fits with what we think the makeup of our team is going to be. And with a question mark on a lot of things in the back line, like, we're trying to sort through that. We have an 11v11 today in training, so we'll be able to look at some things. And then, it'll be about kind of making the decision that's best overall for what's the best fit for the team. So, again, what I told both of those guys is I can't make a wrong decision. I know that they'll both perform in an excellent manner. So we're taking their time, and it'll be a hard message to tell one of them that they're not going to be the starting goalkeeper. That's for sure.
Very fair. Do you mind just going a little bit more into detail, just for context there, where you say the overall balance of the team? What do you mean by that? What do you need out of one player over another for playing with a certain style? What do you mean by that?
Look, it has to do with just the balance of players and the form of the players and then what they provide in terms of how aggressive we can be with our back line, how aggressive we can be with some of our build-up ideas, and how each goalkeeper might fit in a little bit differently.
Okay.
So I'm not going to go too much into it.
That's a wrap on the day from Charlotte. Just a little bit of a tidbit. At the end, we were let back into training, and they did some exhausting fitness training, running laps and laps and laps, 31 degrees at 3:30 here in the afternoon. Nico Segur said afterwards it was really, really tough, and yet this is why they, of course, are here. We'll be back on Thursday for another diary entry and some more news from Canada's pre-World Cup camp.